For the past couple years, there's been this narrative behind the Thunder that they're floppers and foul baiters and they have a golden whistle. And I think as we continue to watch the Sun series, it becomes even more evident that they do. And when you go back and watch Game 2, it becomes very evident that they do. Now, to preface this, I do think fouls are just in general a problem in the NBA, and I think they definitely need to be looked at. But I think if you want to look at teams getting fouls, I think OKC gets the most, and they get the most calls to go their way. And like I said, especially in Game 2, it becomes a lot more evident. So we're going to look at a few calls from that game that kind of just show that, yeah, they do have a golden whistle. And honestly, maybe it's not about having a golden whistle. Like, some of these calls were right during the game, but I think it's a matter of they don't get called both ways. Like, they're only getting called for the Thunder compared to the Suns. So we're going to start looking at some calls. Let's look at the first one here.
Mitchell got the offensive rebound. Dort, jab step, fire, missed the three. Boarded by Green, loose ball foul on Iguodala as Ian Holmgren.
So really, I mean, it's just really down low. Chet Holmgren just got boxed out, and he realized he was losing, and his last resort was to just toss his head back and fall, and they ended up getting a call for it. And I don't know about you guys, but I didn't see anything on that play that warranted him throwing his head back. Like, nothing hit him in the face. It's just pretty much he lost the box out battle, and he decided, all right, well, I'm just going to toss my head back and get a foul call because I know I'm losing. Right? And I think that's just where some of this stuff comes from. It's like they're just getting so many calls that they shouldn't be getting. It's right here, Booker. He's going in on Caruso. Caruso kind of steps in. Booker jumps into Caruso, and he ends up trying to put it in, and they called an offensive foul on Phoenix, which to me, I do think that is the right call. But the problem is, the reason they didn't call it defensive is because they said it was an unnatural shooting motion. But it's kind of ironic when Chet Holmgren has probably the most unnatural shooting motion I've ever seen, and they end up calling a foul on the Suns. I mean, how are you going to fault Devin Booker right here? Which, again, I think this is the right call. I do think this is the right call. I think jumping into another defender shouldn't be a defensive foul. But you have to call it both ways, because later in the game, Chet Holmgren probably has the most unnatural form of a shot I've ever seen, and they call that a foul. It's like, how are you going to fault Devin Booker for jumping into a guy when Chet Holmgren does the same thing in an even more unnatural way? I mean, sure, the defender oversteps a little bit, but then he jumps into him sideways, looking like he's about to shoot it to the fans in the back row, and they call that a natural shooting motion compared to what Booker did? Like, the calls just don't go both ways. And it gets annoying to watch, to be honest. So, again, I do think offensive fouls should be called like that. I don't think people should be able to jump into another person, but it's like you have to call it both ways if you're the NBA. You can't fault Booker for jumping into a guy, and then Chet Holmgren turns around and does it, and they're like, that's fine. I didn't see anything. I mean, it kind of gets frustrating to watch, and there's a few more examples of this where Shea had a pretty big push-off. So right here, Shea Gilgeous, he goes on the drive against Gillespie, and he steps on his foot and then pushes him to the ground. And they don't call an offensive foul. This is no foul. Right there, if you can see it, Gillespie gets his foot stepped on and then pushed as well. And they don't call that an offensive foul, but they want to call it an offensive foul when Booker jumps into somebody. And then it's amazing because Holmgren turns around and does the exact same thing. So I think fouls are just overall a problem in the NBA. But I think the Thunder just get a lot more calls than anyone else. I mean, this is the most obvious offensive foul I've ever seen. Shea literally steps on Gillespie's foot and then pushes him to the ground, and they don't call it. But again, they want to call Devin Booker for jumping into a guy when Holmgren does the exact same freaking thing a play later. Or not a play later. It's just frustrating to watch because they're going to fault Devin Booker for jumping into a guy, yet Chet Holmgren does the exact same thing later on in the game, and they don't call it. They call this a natural shooting motion. They call that a natural shooting motion compared to what Booker did. I mean, Booker's was more natural than that. And then they don't call Shea pushing off? I mean, it's insane. So now we're going to go to probably the most infamous call of the night. This was Booker's double technical for hitting Jalen Williams with the ball.
Ton of time.
Another Oklahoma City foul. Now Booker's going to go to the line for the first time in the quarter. It was 5 for 5 in the first half. And that's the other Jalen Williams, Jay Will, that picks up his second foul. And now a technical foul has been called.
On Jay Will? Or on Devin Booker?
Yes.
So right there, he's trying to save the ball, throws it against him. And it's insane because Caruso practically just called this foul for them. I mean, Caruso literally turned around, put his hands up, and he's like, hey, that's a technical. I mean, he practically called the foul for him. See, right there, he's in the back. He's calling for the tech. It's like, what? First of all, this should not have been a tech whatsoever. Booker's trying to save the ball out of bounds, and it just happens to hit Jalen Williams. But it's even crazier when the refs don't call it to start, but then the second Caruso walks over and says, hey, that's a tech, he practically called that foul. And I don't think if any other player or any other team in the league would have told the refs it's a technical foul, they wouldn't have called it. They wouldn't have cared. But just because it's the Thunder, they're going to listen to Alex Caruso. Like, Caruso quite practically called this tech for them. No one else thought it was a tech. But the second Caruso put his hands up and said, hey, that's a tech right there, that's when the refs want to call it on Booker. I mean, it's just insane. It wasn't a foul to begin with. And then the fact that Caruso pretty much just tells the refs what to do just proves that, yeah, OKC has a golden whistle. They can do whatever they want. They can literally do whatever they want. And they'll probably end up getting a foul for it. And honestly, it's annoying to watch. It's frustrating to watch. It's annoying to watch. And it kind of sucks when the Thunder is such a great team. The Thunder are a great team, but the problem is they're flopping, so it makes them just annoying, you know? On a final note, I think fouls are just a problem across the NBA in general, but I think the Thunder get the most fouls. I mean, they can pretty much do whatever they want. They can probably start calling fouls for the refs, and they'd probably just listen to them. It's gotten to a point where it is just ridiculous the calls they get, and the way the calls just don't go two-way. I mean, it is insane to me how many calls they get and how many calls the other teams don't get. I mean, again, Caruso literally called a foul for the refs, and they wholeheartedly listened to him. Second, he put his hands up, they're like, okay, yes, sir, we'll call the foul. It's like, really? It's insane to me how Shea's probably going to win another MVP, and this team might win a championship, but they just flop. I mean, Shea literally had 17 free throws, and the Suns' entire team combined had 18. Like, that is just crazy to me. Anyways, hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.